I realized that it's really, I'll connect that video together. I realized the gift of pricelessness. I realized that those people who have a gift are also priceless. I realized you guys are all priceless today. I realized that when you're a priceless person, you're going to be a person who's growing. You're going to be a person who has a greater attitude than yesterday. You're going to be someone who's very foundational. You're going to have something of an idea, you're going to give it to someone, and you're going to help them with it. I promise you, that's what pricelessness is. It's really helping and being more compassionate toward the people that you see today. Otherwise, when you have people around you, you have to lift them. I promise you, that's what a gift is. I promise you, a gift is to make sure that each and every one of us is growing, because otherwise, we'll never ever be a gift. And you should understand, you need to grow. You have to understand that people grow are gifts of this planet. I promise you that the world is still going because of people who grow. I promise you that if you don't grow, I promise you there's nobody here. I promise you, although that we're all important, we all have an attitude, you have to understand your attitude has to be better. You have to understand that there's no excuses to never grow today. You have more technology and more information today than you've ever had before. I promise you the internet's been around for 30 years only. I thank you very much. I realize that since this day is a beautiful day, I realize that since you do have internet and technology, I realize that you have to capitalize. You have to understand that when you're capitalizing on information and you're becoming a better person in the process, you're going to understand there's always something to do each and every single day that's going to make you more of a gift. I realize the best gift that you can give somebody is an idea. I promise you, the more ideas that you have, I promise you, the smarter you are. I promise you, a smart ass can help you. I promise you, each and every day, you become a smart ass more and more. I promise you, you can go around the world for free. I promise you, it's really easily done. I promise you, the tougher you are on yourself, the better you are. You have to be that person who is always a gift. You have to be a gift. You have to look at your eyes and you have to look in the mirror and you have to say, I'm a gift today. I realize that you have to be a gift. You have to understand you are your present. And when you are a better person than yesterday, you understand you give more ideas. You wrap them up in a nice, beautiful way, and you give beautiful ideas all the time. You'll be a kinder person. You'll do something with an attitude of gratitude. You have to understand, gratitude is growth. And those people who grow can understand hope. I promise you, to hope more is to live more. I promise you, those people who can live more are the ones growing more. You have to understand, it's really about that. You have to understand that those people understand that when you get up on the street and you give a nice, beautiful public speaking speech, regardless of who's listening or not, I realize that no matter what, you're still going to grow, because it's about conversational skills, and conversational skills is communication. And those people who can communicate can also be priceless. And you should understand, if you can communicate today, it means that you're priceless today. I realize that since you can, you have to always improve anyway. So make sure each and every single day you're reading more and more, and that way you understand that to live your life, you have to live in communication. You have to live with connection with yourself and others. You have to understand that in order to be famous and inspirational, you need other people also. You have to understand that you can never just do it on your own. You have to understand you need people to make you an inspiration also. I realize that you can be your inspiration, although you'll understand that you need to you have to lift yourself and others. You have to understand it's never just about you. You have to understand it's really about you and other people too. You have to understand it's about growing together. And you should understand it's about we. I realize that we can do this all the time when we're going to grow. You have to be that type of person all the time. You always have to understand there's always a better way to do something than nothing. You have to understand that those people who do something for nothing are the ones who are really going to be a gift. You have to be a gift every single day. You have to always hope more. You have to do more. You have to be more. You have to understand that just yesterday, I went into my phone and I went and recorded myself a nice, beautiful 3-hour session right here today. I realized that no matter what, that every single day is today. I realized that the dinosaurs live today. I realized, although you understand that I had a nice, beautiful posture yesterday for 3 hours and I could watch myself, and I've watched myself on 4 times. I realized that I watched myself 4 times faster, and it's a nice, beautiful ideal to understand that when you can record yourself in a way that you can watch your video in 4 times the speed, you can see your posture really going quickly throughout the video. So I do that with VLC Media, which is a nice, beautiful Samsung application, which means that I record myself for 3 hours and then I rewatch my videos on 4 times the speed, which helps me to rewatch my videos in about 30 minutes. I realize it's really quickly done, and I realize that I can also pick up some nice, beautiful ideas upon my reflection of how I look like in terms of my body posture, which is so beautiful. I realize that since that's a nice, priceless gift, to have a technology that can do that, I realize that technology is going to help you to understand that you can go and help people with it. You have to understand that those people who help people with technology are the ones who are giving ideas and also have a business to do something every single day. You have to. You have to always do something every single day. You have to understand that technology is nice and beautiful when you can also record yourself for 4 hours long and then watch it on 4 times the speed to just pick up your body posture. And it's going to go quickly, the video, although you understand that it's 4 times the speed. And then you realize that you can watch yourself really quickly. And that way you can also recap in terms of your body language and how you public speak on video inside a tunnel. You understand that those people who can do that are the ones who can communicate. You have to understand those people who have a greater attitude are the ones who are feeling better. You have to feel better all the time. You have to always look better. You have to make sure that you're always doing better in each and every aspect of your life. You have to understand it's about communication skills. I promise you that since I do get a lot of looks today, I realize that I improve my confidence this way. I understand that when you get tired, you have to understand it's really use your emotions more to jump up. You have to jump up, you have to jump, and you have to shake a little about. You have to do the walkie-talkie and you turn around. You understand? So I never know anything, although I never say you know in my communication. I'm never confusion in life. I understand that when I grow, I'm a person who lifts other people, and that's the whole point of being a public speaker and also doing any type of audio content and video content. You have to be inspiring with your music and with your talent and with your ability. You have to understand that whatever you're doing in life, you may be a painter. You have to paint in a way that's going to inspire people to take action about something. And when you're a person who's investing more action today, you understand that it's never about taking action, you understand it's about investing it today. You have to invest yourself into a better way. You have to understand to invest yourself is to grow and lead other people in whatever you're doing today. Whereas it's about abilities and skills and talents. You have to understand it's about mindset. I promise you that those people who have mindset skills are the ones learning it. You have to learn more. You have to learn more every single day. You have to understand that it's important that you guys see that since I'm here, I realize that when you get a permit or something like that, you understand that you have to realize that when you go in some areas where you need a permit to do a street performance, I realize that what happens is they make you never speak with an amplifier, although you can go and speak around town somewhere where there's more of a crowd that can actually hear you with an amplification speaker, although you understand to never ever speak out loud for 3 hours without a microphone because it's never worth it, or else what's worth it is that you always speak with an amplifier when you speak with public speaking, because it's very worth it to never shout over the top of people. I realise that's never the way to go. I realise that you have a nice beautiful amplification speaker when you're doing a street performance. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's the best way to get your message across, and it's also the best way to get audio inside of your video also. So never ever public speak on the street like this without a microphone and an amplification speaker, although you understand that you need a permit anyway to make sure that you go somewhere where you never have to go, which is to get a permit to do this work. I promise you they make you without, and I realise they make you never ever get a amplification speaker to speak your words. I understand that I never get confused about what I say. I realise it's really that you understand that it's really about the video anyway. You have to understand that I'm better than my words. I realise that you guys have to always speak your tonality in a way that's going to help you to be more fashionable. I realise it's really about fashion. I realise it's about really giving ideas. And when you're giving ideas, you're giving them slowly over time. And it's really, I thank you very much. You have to understand when you're thanking people, you have to understand it's really about that. I realise it's really about being kind. You have to be kind. You have to realise you look people in the eyes and you lift. You always have to be lifting people. You have to be a person who understands ideas. You have to understand that I stuff up sometimes, although I never do because I'm still growing here. I realise I'm always growing. I'm always doing something that's really about something greater. And that way I understand that you guys, when you get on the street, I promise you that what's important is when you get a permit, I promise you never need a permit. And I have actually disciplined myself today, and I said I'll never ever get myself a permit to do this work because it's for free. And what they make you do is they say there is no amplification speakers allowed at the Queen Street Mall and anywhere around where there's a crowded place, because they want you to go and speak over the top of people without an amplification device. So be the person who understands to never go get a permit for anything in life. I need you to understand you never need a license for anything. You have to understand that you never need a car license, you never need any type of license to live life. And you should understand that you go and get yourself just some kind of identification because for some reason they need you to do that, although you understand that is what you need to do. You have to understand, although that you understand that when you come on the street over here, you're going to do a street performance, and you never yell over the top of people because it's going to break your voice. And your voice has to be heard, so make sure that you have a beautiful amplification speaker where you can also record your voice and speak at a nice beautiful tone where you guys can still hear me here. Realize that no matter what, it's really about giving ideas, and when you're giving ideas, you give them in a present. You give them in ideas, you give them in wisdom every single day. You have to always do something every single day that's going to help you. You have to understand it's about communication skills today. I realize that those people who have the gift of pricelessness are the ones who are really kinder. I realize it's about kindness. I realize it's about really having fun. I need you to have fun, although have growing experience. I need you to understand it's about growing and never just having fun. I need you to understand that those people having just fun in life are the ones who are really dying. I realize it's never about just having fun. I realize it's really about just growth. I promise you that's all the fun you ever need. I promise you those people who understand attitude are the ones who understand that they have to better their attitude. You have to better your gratitude also. You have to understand you have to always keep being a person who's growing. You have to understand that growth is foundational in every single day of life. I promise you those people who have skills to lead are the ones who are showing up in front of your face and doing so. I promise you that's the way to go. I promise you have to also do it. You have to do it, you have to be in the spotlight every single day, and you have to boost your confidence all the time. You have to do something that's really integrity. You have to understand it's really about integrity and making sure that you lift yourself all the time. You have to always lift yourself to be better and better and better and better. You have to, because otherwise it's never worth it. I promise you those people who can really be something greater are the ones who are looking in their heart for everything. Realize it's really about motivating yourself the most. I realize that those people who can motivate themselves the most are the ones who are really worth it. You have to be that kind of person. You have to be that person who understands the gift is in your heart right now. You have to be that kind of person who understands there's always something better that you can do today. I realize there's always something better that you can do to understand there's you in life. So realize that you never ever lose yourself in other people, because what's worth it is looking inside and losing yourself inside. You have to be that kind of person always looking inside. You have to look at people in the eyes and you have to give them a thumbs up, although you have to always lift. You always have to live either way. I understand that people who are good are going to do greater good. You have to understand it's about the greater good of life. You have to be that type of person who understands that the theory behind life is to plan it first on paper, which is your Pokédex phone, and then take the action to do so. You have to understand that my phone is a Pokédex, which is from Pokemon. I realize that Pokédex is a phone, and when you have a Pokédex, you have a nice beautiful note system where you can understand to go and grow in it in terms of writing your journal daily and make sure that you're always traveling around the world. I realize now I can go to Darwin now, because since I can realize I'm free over here, I realize that no matter what, I'm still motivated, I'm still making sure that I'm growing, I'm still making sure that I'm doing something amazing, and that way you understand that amazing people are always interesting. I promise you, there are always people who have enthusiasm and charisma. I promise you it's the same thing. I promise you the same thing is enthusiasm and charisma. I promise you those people who understand charisma are the ones who have confidence and courage, which is also the same. I need you to understand confidence is courage. And those people who can build it can also be in front of the crowd and lead the crowd into greatness. You have to be greatness every single day. You have to understand there's always something to do every single day. You have to understand there's always something that you can really be foundational today in. You have to understand you have to be that kind of person. You have to always give architecture. And that's the only way you can do it through communication. You understand that no matter what, architecture is communication. And those people who understand how to design something can also communicate it. I promise you have to communicate your design. I promise you it's how you look today also. I promise you your design is your sculpture. I promise you it's your status. I promise you it's your attention span. I promise you it's your scale, which is your hair. I promise you it's your eyes. I promise you it's about everything in you. You have to understand your scaling business must be better. I promise you must be that person who understands there is a greater way. You have to understand that you never ever be a violent person. You never ever call people a poof. You never call them a poofta. You have to understand that it's rude to say that. You have to understand it's really grow and never judge people for how they are. Realize it's really never be violent either. I understand that pricelessness means growth. And those people who are priceless are living today. I need you to understand you never price yourself, because that way you always be a person who's never priceless. I promise you that those people who never price themselves for money, I promise you those people are pricelessness. I promise you I'm priceless because I never price myself for anything in life. I price myself for freedom only and without numbers. I understand that I'm number one though. I'm number one in Jesus' name. And that way I understand I'm always lifting. I'm always doing something that's really important. I'm always making sure I'm looking good. I'm making sure that I'm always doing better than yesterday. I'm doing better than yesterday one way or another. I'm always sticking to the number one because that's the biggest number in the world. I promise you it's not the $1 trillion that matters. I promise you it's number one. I promise you if you're the 1,000,000th person in your life, I promise you that there's 1,000,000,000 people before you. You have to understand that you have to be number one. I promise you that's the best number in the world. I promise you that the first teacher in life is Jesus Christ. I promise you that person is the first teacher of the planet. You have to learn from him. You have to learn from Jesus Christ every single day about how to lead and how to do better. You have to understand that each and every time you say you have to understand it's never about and you should understand it's about communication without and you should understand it's never about you know either. I know nothing, as Socrates says. I need you to understand that those people who have pricelessness in life also have passion. You should understand you need passion every single day to thrive in life. You never survive and you never strive. You just thrive. You make sure you're growing. You have a business mindset. You have something to do every single day that's going to be important. You always have to make sure that whatever you're doing in daily life is going to help you. You have to understand each and every single time you have a nice beautiful attention, you have attention span, which is you have a crowd around you, you have a spotlight. I promise you that's all you ever need to grow. I promise you it's about growth and doing your content. I came here to do my content today, because that's an important aspect of life. I promise you I never ever fail when I'm doing content and I'm recording it right now. And that way I understand I never lose because I'm still giving people ideas, I'm still growing in front of people, and I have the spotlight, and I'm promoting my Instagram. Because my Instagram is worth it. I realize no matter what, you can only find me in one place because I'm number one in life. I realize that many people go 10 Instagrams in life. I just go one because there's 300 million followers in Instagram. So I realize that I have to always scale my business anyway, and it's really about wisdom every single day. I have to give more wisdom to gain it. I have to connect my wisdom together in different ways. I have to expand my wisdom in different ways to make sure that I can grow my wisdom in different ways. I realize that way, I'm always better than my words, I'm richer better, I'm always unlocking a better potential in me, because that's the whole point of life. I realize the whole point of life is make sure that whatever you're doing today is going to be better. You have to be that kind of person who understands there is a better way today than yesterday. I realize you have a will today, you're living, you have to understand. You can also make sure you can help people to live greater. You have to understand, that is the point of life. I promise you, although I'm stronger now than ever, and I've been doing this for 36 hours in 12 days, although I've grew tremendously from it, so I'll continue to do it. I realize that when you have something to plan about, you do it after your video, and you do it after your courses on the day. You come back into your accommodation, and you plan what you're going to do, and where you're going to go. You have to understand that each and every single day is a plan. I promise you, each and every single day is a step. I promise you, each and every single day is one step. I promise you, to improve the world today, I promise you, it's just one step. I promise you the world today is inside of you. I promise you it's not outside. I promise you the outside world never matters. I promise you the development of you and becoming better than yesterday is good. I promise you it's the best way to go about it. I promise you need always more encouragement. I promise you that there are many people who are encouraging today. I promise you that you need to go and find them every single day. You need to be that person who understands that you need more encouragement. I promise you Jesus encourages the most. I promise you those people who understand the freedom of life are the ones who have Jesus Christ in their life every single day. I promise you they're the most successful people every single day. I promise you I've never met a successful person I've never met a successful person who has so much inspiration that is never following Jesus today. I need you to understand that those people who have numbers in their life, I promise you to have just one number. I promise you the number one is your only number in life. I need you to forget all the other numbers because the other numbers never matter. I promise you just number one is the only number that you work for. You only work for number one. I promise you that number one is the greatest. I promise you those people who work for number one are going to understand that numbers is simplified with number one. I need you to understand it's never about any other number except for number one. Because the one rule states that you have one step to take today that's going to help you. You have to understand you never do it 2 steps, you do it 1 step. I need you to understand you're just 1 step greater today than you were. You have to understand you have to be better and better. You can never lie to yourself. You can never be a person who is discouraging other people. You have to understand that you have to stick to the one rule, which is just make sure that each and every single day you're 1 step leveling up yourself today. I promise you, although that those people who understand pricelessness are the ones who are really growing today in their foundation of growth. I need you to understand it's about growth today. I need you to understand it's about skills. I promise you, although that the rejection that I feel from other people, I realize I feel no rejection because I never reject myself here. I realize that nobody's around me. I realize that it's just I here. I realize that I'm always here around I realize that's the important factor of my life. I realize it's just realizing that you have to be better and better and better all the time and never forget your I realize that I'm always a person who never dies. I'm a person who loves my I love I all the time. I'm a person in love with myself. I promise you that's what's important. I promise you what's important is making sure that you're always growing and making sure that you have the fountain of everything that's good inside of you. I promise you that's the best way to live. I promise you the best way is now. I promise you the best way is take action now today to make sure you get some ideas today, to make sure that you're doing something very helpful. You have to be that kind person in you. You have to be that person who has much more than what you do today. You always need more kindness, you always need more vocabulary in life. You have to understand, you have to learn more of everything. You have to learn to grow every single day. I promise you the world can get tough on you if you're not tough on yourself. I promise you those people who are never tough on themselves are the ones who are never growing. I'm always tough on myself. I'm tougher on myself than I've ever been before. You have to understand The Rock, who is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I promise you he's very tough on himself. I promise you he has a strict guideline in life. I need you to have a strict guideline in life. I need you to be more disciplined today. I need you to understand that discipline is key to success. And those people who have discipline today are the ones who are really more foundational and able to really be tougher and tougher and tougher throughout life. I need you to understand you need to be tougher in life. You have to understand that drugs is going to make you less tough. I promise you drugs is going to make you weak. I promise you that you need to be a person who stays away from the drugs. I need you to understand that I'm not a judger, I'm not a judgmental person, although I just speak what is. You have to understand what is this moment. And those people who live in reality are the ones who are never doing drugs. You never do drugs today. I promise you that you'll take more action today in a way that you will invest it. I promise you you have to invest action in a way that you understand to stay away from drugs because you need to be a priceless person. You have to understand that those people who are weak are never doing anything for the world. You have to understand. It's really about never doing it for the world, you do it for yourself and something greater. I promise you that's what it's all about. I promise you it's about talent. You have talent today, you can write it out. You can write every single day something that's really going to be incredible. I promise you it's really worth it that you understand that you never be negative around people overall because it's never worth it. And you should understand that what's worth it in life is becoming something greater. I promise you it's really about making sure that you're always in front of people, and that way you understand you have to grow anyway. You can go anywhere today, realize that no matter what, you're never limited and you're never waiting for anything. You're never waiting for a permit to do your street performance. You're never doing anything according to street performance that has a permit. Although do street performance because it's beautiful to be in front of people and to grow. I promise you it's really worth it that you understand that I'm not a judger, I'm not a judgmental person, although I understand I'm better than my ego. I realize that's the whole point of life, to overcome your ego. I promise you that's everything in life. I promise you that you have to understand that you have to be individual. You have to be an individual who understands that you must be an individual far greater than yourself. You have to understand that is the only way of life. I promise you that whatever's happening is for your best interest. You have to understand that the world works for something greater only. You have to understand you never make other people work for you. You make other people work for something greater than you. I promise you there's always something greater in life. I promise you there's always something greater than I as well. I promise you that is Jesus Christ. I promise you that we need to always grow together and we have to live in Jesus Christ's name today. I promise you that's the best way. I promise you those people who understand something of fashion are the ones who are really growing. You have to grow, you have to understand public speaking, you have to understand communication skills, you have to understand what's going on each and every single day is inside of you right now. I promise you the news that's beautiful today is what's inside of you. I promise you that nothing else matters. I realize that DJ Zanny has a beautiful song called Nothing Else Matters. I realize it goes, because nothing else matters. I realize that since I realize that nothing else matters, I realize I'm growing today because I'm worth it. I'm worth the growth. I'm worth the experiment. I'm worth everything that's better in life. I have to always make sure that no matter what, I'm always doing something positive because I have to lift people. I have to understand that you guys came to me, I never came to you. And that's the whole point. You have to realize that when you have people coming to you all the time and doing something in terms of interest, you have to make sure that no matter what, you're always expecting something of yourself much greater. You have to be much greater than yourself. You have to understand, you have to be that person who understands freedom. You have to always have freedom in your heart and in your soul and who you are. You have to understand there's always a greater way. You have to understand there's always to never be upset. You never be upset about what's happening. You have to understand that what's happening is inside of you only. I promise you, those people who focus inside are the ones who have everything. I promise you, they're never poisoning their body. I promise you, they're never, ever rejecting themselves with drugs. I need you to understand, you never reject yourself. I need you to love yourself fully. I say that Jesus said to make sure that you respect your temple and never put drugs in it. I promise you, it's worth it. I promise you, although, that if you get offended, I realize it's because you're arrogant. I promise you, you never get offended and you never get angry, because that will make you egotistical. I promise you that the best way to go is never cause violence in the first place. I promise you to allow people to hit you. I realize that you allow people to kill you. You understand Jesus Christ then? You understand that? No matter what happens, you just be a person who never teaches people to cause violence and never teach people to go and do competitions, because I realize that competitions never matter. I realize that what matters is competition with yourself to become greater, and that's it. I realize it's never about competing with other people. I realize it's about competing with yourself. I realize that Jesus will never ever make competition between people and people. I realize that Jesus will only make competition between Jesus and Jesus only. I promise you that you need to understand that every single day. I need you to understand that the movies today are showing you that people are violent with other people. And I never need you to watch that, because that's going to teach you to be violent with other people. I need you to understand that when you're a person who's growing, you're going to do something amazing. You're going to do something that's worth it. You're going to understand that there is no such thing as greater violence in life. And you should understand there's always such thing as take action today, to invest action today in a way that you're going to grow and become a more satisfying person through wisdom. You have to understand that only satisfying part of life is more communication skills. I promise you that's what's going to make you priceless. I promise you that's what's going to make you a gift. I promise you that's what's going to make you abundant and rich, and you're going to have everything. You're going to be that type of woman who deserves it. You're going to be that type of person who deserves it. You have to understand that I'm above and beyond in who I am, although I never put the woman first, I never put the man first. I put the people first in terms of, I put something greater than the people first, although you understand that I'm a person who always puts something greater than everything in this planet first. I realize that way, I understand I work for something greater, and I'm always making sure that I follow Jesus, because that way I understand my role model. I understand something that I need to be more. I understand that it's never about pleasure. I promise you, those people who go for pleasure in life are the ones who are really dying. I need you to understand it's never about dying today. I need you to understand to delay gratification. I need you to delay gratification, because that way you'll build confidence, you'll be something greater, you'll have something greater, you'll feel greater, and you'll do greater. I promise you, those people who understand the religion of life are the ones who are growing. I need you to understand that the real religion today is, how do you grow today? Realize that you need to go ask yourself today, how do I grow today? And how do I become better? Realize that you have to understand you have to become better all the time. You have to be that type of person all the time who's always making yourself more functional. You always have to make sure you're always looking better. You always have to make sure you're never feeling sorry for yourself. I never need you to feel sorry for yourself. I need you to understand there's no such thing as sorrow, although you understand that is the only way to be. I need you to understand you need empathy today. And empathy is leadership, and I realize that those people who understand leadership are the ones who are looking better and feeling better over time. And you should understand that you need to always be a positive role model. I promise you, that's what it's all about. I realize it's about freedom. I realize it's about growth. I realize it's about coaching yourself to become the best aspect of yourself every single day. I promise you, each and every single time you have something to do, you do it much better than yesterday. I realize that each and every single time you improve one skill today, I promise you, you're better than yesterday. You have to understand, that is the whole point of life. I promise you, the whole point of life is make sure you're growing in front of people. I promise you, that is everything. I promise you that the spotlight, you have to grab it. You have to make sure that you're functional in a way that you're doing better. You have to understand that to function is to live life. So make sure you're living life better than yesterday. I promise you, it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth to encourage yourself to grow. I promise you, it's worth to understand that you have knowledge within you right now to do something greater. You have to. You always have to make sure you're giving ideas. You're doing something that's really going to make you look better. You're going to do something today that's going to make you eat better. I realize that you're going to do something that's going to make you drink better today. I realize that there's only 2 drinks that I do really drink. I drink water and soy milk only. I realize that is all I drink. I realize that's all I ever need. I realize I just need water and soy milk. I don't drink anything else. I promise you that you stick to the water and soy milk guidelines today. I promise you it's the best way. I promise you that no matter what, you just be healthier today. I promise you, although you have to grow, you have to learn, and you have to make sure you devour life in a better way. You have to understand, to do that every single day, you'll do something that's really worth it. You're always expecting yourself to do better, and that's the whole point. I realize that in communication skills, you're going to grow with other people, and that's it. And you're never ever a person who's getting offended for somebody stopping you for anything. I realize it's never about that. I realize it's about growing together and what's best for everybody. I realize that is how to do life. I realize the best way to do life is make sure you're doing your best every single day. I I realize it's about successful habits today. I realize it's about communication skills with the crowd today. I realize it's about doing something today to help us. I realize that's what you do every single day. You help everybody in life. You help us today, and that way you understand we're all going to grow. I promise you that our life today must be greater, and those people will understand that we and our and us are the ones who are going to lead every single day. I promise you it's never about the money. I promise you it's about growing together and having a better mindset today. I promise you that's what it's all about. You have to always have a better mindset. You have to do better. You have to understand there's always something greater in life. You have to understand that since I've been doing 6 hours over here, I understand I still have to achieve it, although you understand that I've completed so much content, and guess what? I'm always still learning my own content. I'm always making sure I have a better blueprint. I'm always making sure I'm doing something to have something greater in my life. I realize that I have to grow in communication to do that. I have to understand much greater than who I am. I have to understand I have to keep moving throughout life, and life is going to keep moving, and you have to adapt quickly. You have to be a fast adapter. And the difference between poor people and rich people is information. You have to get more information to be rich. I realize that poor people have no information. You have to get more information to be richer. You have to understand that to lose weight, you need more information on how to do so. I realize that in order for you to make everything come true for you, you need information today. You need more information, and make sure you fuel yourself with wisdom. That's the best gift of life. The gift of life you need every single day is to be greater and greater and greater and greater and greater. You have to be greater. You have to be greater, brother. I realize that is the whole point. I realize the whole point is to just make sure that we're all brothers and sisters over here. We're going to grow together. I promise you that's what it's all about. I realize it's all about freedom. I realize it's all about making sure that we have leadership skills to understand we're going to do compliments today, and we're going to make sure that we're going to improve our attitude. I promise you that attitude is gratitude, so make sure you have a better attitude today. I realize that's the whole point of life. You need to understand that those people who can grow and lead are the ones who can give ideas and also show you that smile also. You understand that no matter what, when you show people that smile, you will understand what I mean. I can show you the smile. I realize you have a smile too. I realize no matter what, that is the best point of view. I realize that you need a smile. You have to understand it's really about freedom. You have to understand it's really about understanding yourself and what's inside. I realize that I'm not a pervert, although I look in my eyes, and you understand that a pervert person is a negative one, so stay away from it. You have to understand that you just be a person who understands to expose yourself more and more and more. Otherwise, that's the whole point of being less of a pervert. And you should understand, you need to be a person who is really increasing your life in a way they understand that words are words, and those people who abuse words in a way that they learn from it are going to be the people, or else they're going to be the people who are growing. You have to understand you have to grow, you have to understand you have to be somebody interesting every single day. You always have to walk better, you have to do better, you have to have more speed, you have to understand, you have to have more courage. I promise you those people who have more courage are the ones who are going to grow regardless. And you should understand that either way, I do my content today in front of people, and that way I'm still going to grow. I realize that I have a nice lighting over here, I promise you it works beautifully for me. I love to grow. I love to grow, and I love to never die. I never die. I never say never. I realize that I always do say I'm always in life. I'm always this moment. I'm always making sure that I'm doing something amazing. You are so amazing today. I realize that no matter what, you have to understand that since you're so amazing today, you have to be more amazing. You have to be more amazing. You have to be more amazing. You have to always have to make sure that no matter what, you need more encouragement. I'll give you the encouragement, although make sure you encourage yourself the most. I have to encourage other people so I can encourage myself the most, and that's the whole point of leadership. I understand that those people who understand how to be in the crowd are the ones who are really every single day in the crowd. You always have to do something that's in the spotlight today. I realize that I can be doing this for the next 9 years of my life. I realize that's worth it. I realize I can do it for my whole life. I realize that no matter what, when I do it 3 hours a day for the next 73 years, I realize it's 9 years in the making. I realize that being on the street for the rest of my life, I realize that's a beautiful way to live. I promise you it's really about growing every single day and producing 9 years of video content in my lifetime. It's beautiful. I promise you that's worth it. I promise you, although you're going to leave something behind, and you have a nice thrill, because each and every time somebody walks past, I get to meet new people like this guy. I get to meet new people like everybody and this guy over here, and understand that no matter what, that is the whole point of life. I realize that the whole point of life is I understand that tens of thousands of people are going to see me throughout life, and I get to see people's reactions, and I get to be in the thrill of the moment and gain some attention along the way while boosting my confidence and also doing my video over here for 3 hours every single day. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you what's worth it is understanding the crowd. I promise you when you understand the crowd, you're going to grow. You're going to lift you're going to support yourself much greater, you're going to do some work today, you're going to understand that the work that you need to do is positive work today. You have to do positive work. You have to understand that positivity is the way to go. I should understand to be positive today and just do that. Or else just do that all your life. I promise you that's the best way. I promise you the best way is positive. You have to do it every single day. You have to understand you have to be in front of the crowd and you have to do something in front of the crowd today to make sure that you can build your confidence. You build your confidence every single day. You're always going to become better on the street when you're doing public speaking skills in a different way all the time. I promise you, you're always going to learn something different. You're going to be something different. You're going to adapt quickly. You're going to have more and more and more. I promise you it's worth it. You have to understand that you have to have more throughout life. You have to be that person who understands courage, which is having more. And you understand, you need to link information, and it's really much more easier throughout time when you're in front of people, and you're in front of people, and you're in front of people speaking with them. I promise you, you're going to be a leader much more. I promise you it's worth it. You have to understand that you have to lead people, and you have to be in front of them. I promise you, if you're a DJ, you still have to be in front of them. I promise you, if you do art, you still have to show your performance in front of people. I promise you, although, make sure that whatever you're doing today, you can do it on the street too. I promise you, that's the best way. I promise you, you go and get yourself a permit if you need to, although I never have to get myself a permit ever again, because I've already done that, and guess what? I just do everything once, and that's it. I do everything once that's better for me, and that's it. I realize that what's better for me is no pleasure. I never go for the pleasure though. I realize that I don't even care about the pleasure, I care about something of interest that's going to grow me today. I realize it's compound interest today. I realize compound interest is called wisdom today. I need you to get the wisdom. Honestly, that's what fuels your tank. I realize that is the only way to go. I realize each and every single day you have something positive to say. Honestly, you're going to have a nice beautiful abbreviation. Honestly, abbreviation is called fluctuating in the moment. And you should understand that you need to fluctuate in this moment and you always grow. I promise you that each and every single day you have some more grammar in your life. I promise you that's the only way that you can boost your mindset and grow your spirituality. I promise you it's about communication skills, and that is spirituality. I promise you that's the whole point. I promise you I need you to stay away from the gambling because that never helps. Although you understand that those people who gamble also gamble their time away. I never need you to gamble your time away. I need you to understand that the poker machine can gamble your whole life away. You have to understand that your time is more valuable than the money. As I understand, I only care about your $1,000. I understand that for 24 hours, since you're playing the gambling so much, I realize that 24 hours you could have made some wisdom in that moment. I realize that's the whole point of life. I realize you have to understand that gambling is never going to get you there. As I understand that what's going to get you there is freedom. I need you to understand that those people who can communicate, I realize are really going to use their emotions to communicate. And since it's day 2 over here of my standing street performance, I realize that I'm always much better than yesterday. I'm always doing much better. I'm feeling much better today. I have to eat, and when I eat, I make sure I eat only. I realize that I eat in silence only. I never need music playing. I never need reading playing while I eat. I just eat while I eat because it's a nice, beautiful blessing to do so. You understand? Silence is beautiful. I understand that when I sleep, I need to read delta sounds. I have to have the whoosh sound going because many people are making noise around me. I realize that since I have a whoosh sound going while I sleep, I have delta sounds while I sleep. I realize it's very beautiful. You always have to look more beautiful today. You have to understand that more courage today is very beautiful. And those people who understand adjectives are the ones who can do verbs. I understand to do verbs is to do this moment, and to do adjectives is to do this moment. You have to understand, you just have to be that type of person who's always learning your adjectives and your pronunciations in what you're doing every single day. You have to communicate it, and you have to communicate it, and you have to communicate it every single day. You have to communicate who you are in a better way every single day. I promise you, that's what it's all about. I promise you it's about positivity today and looking better than yourself. Realize that you can always look better than what you are today. You have to understand that you need to be that type of person who understands positivity, and that way you understand that positivity work is called wisdom. I promise you it's about wisdom today. I promise you it's about courage. I promise you it's about something greater than who you are. I promise you that's what's motivational. I promise you what's motivational is leading today to make yourself greater. I realize that you make yourself greater as a person who is something greater. You have to understand you have to be something greater all the time. You have to understand you always have to leave room for improvement, because leaving room for improvement is called grammar. And you should understand that those people who have grammar also leave room for improvement. Probably the grammar people and people who study adjectives and verbs and pronouns and no, and I realize that they say no to most of life and say yes to themselves. I promise you they are the ones who also learn the nouns and also communication, styles and techniques and traits. I realize that's the whole point of adjectives and grammar. I promise you it's about pronouns. I promise you it's about nouns. Project is about this life in this moment. Project, that's what it's all about in a better way. You have to understand, you never cheat yourself out. You have to understand that you relate each and every single word to this moment. you relate each and every single word with any other word because it's called yin-yang theory. I promise you that every single word in the dictionary correlates with another one. I promise you it's called yin-yang. You have to understand that those people who understand yin-yang will understand that they will be smarter when they understand feng shui is this moment. You have to understand that feng shui is something beautiful in terms of space. I promise you when I have space over here to talk, I could just be fluctuating in the moment because when I fluctuate, I do it much better than yesterday. And I got the lights over here. I thank you very much. I say no matter what, I'm never out, although I'm also always inside. I'm always living inside, and that's the whole point of life. The whole point of life is to make sure you're growing, and then I realize that you have to make yourself greater, and you have to look greater than you are in a more beautiful fashion, because you're a fashion statement today. I promise you that everything you are today is because of your ideas and your information. So make sure you boost your information and you boost your life today. I promise you that's what it's all about. I promise you it's about giving more love through ideas. And those people who bring ideas to the table are the ones who are going to do greater. I realized no matter what, that yesterday some guy came up to me and asked me, what do I eat for meat? I realized that I don't care about meat, I care about that you understand that you have to eat wisdom every single day. I told him, I don't care what restaurant that you have to go to that you have to eat meat. I told him that you must always eat wisdom because that's the wisdom. I realized that's the best way. I realize I'm vegan, although that many people are going to criticize you. So when you eat something in life, eat some wisdom today. I realize you need some ideas today. You have to smile more, you have to do better, and understand that something beautiful is going to happen every single day. And you have to understand that whoever's watching you, you let them watch you, and when they interrupt you and they stop you for what you're doing, you then say, you stop the music, sir, you stop the uplifting, although I'll get somewhere else and do it. You have to understand that no matter what, you're going to be a better person for it. You have to understand you never be offended, never be a person who's offended in life, you be a person who's looking greater. You never have to be a criminal person. You have to understand it's never about being a criminal. I need you to be a person who's staying out of jail. I need you to understand you have to be a person who's looking better and better always. I need you to stay away from drugs also. I need you to understand that no matter what, you be a person who's never judging other people. I need you to understand it's never about judging. I need you to understand it's really about growth. I need you to understand it's really about ideas. I need you to understand it's really about being a conversationalist. I need you to understand what that is. I need you to understand it's this moment. I need you to understand it's really growing in the moment. I realize that those people who are conversational are living in this moment. I realize that this moment is reality. I promise you this moment is going to grow you in maturity. I promise you to be a person who's never immature, you have to live in this moment and learn from information and apply it into this moment. As I understand, that's what it's all about. I realize it's about growing, looking better than yesterday, and making sure that you have more and more throughout life. I realize it's never about the money. I realize it's about how many courses did you do today? I mean, how many hours of wisdom did you give today? I mean, what is your course? I have 300 hours of courses of video only. I have over 25,000 quotes. I have over 2 years of journaling. I give something of information. I need you to do the same. I need you to realize it's never about the money. I don't care about the money. I need you to realize that Jesus never worked for $1. I realize that Jesus never had money in his life. I realize that Jesus understands what's important. I realize that Jesus understands really about connecting with people. I need you to understand that Jesus understands communication. And that's what you need to do today. I need you to understand that Jesus never works for money. I realize that Jesus never had $1 in his life. I realize that you guys always get very frustrated about money. I realize that no matter what, I don't know. Although you understand, I don't work for money. You have to understand that most of the crowd is getting really, really agitated. Although you understand that it's really love. And you have to understand that I don't know. I don't know. Are you agitated about money today? Because if it's that, you have to understand it's really that Jesus never worked for money. You have to understand that most of the crowd is working for money, and it's never about money, because what's important is to be priceless today and to never price yourself. Because if you price yourself, how can you be priceless? I need you to understand, you need to be that person who understands pricelessness is a gift. You have to understand, you need to be a person who's always growing in your foundation of inside. I realize that inside works. I realize that when you work for something, you work for what's inside. I realize what's your inner world today is how you look today. And you should understand you need to boost your inside manner. You have to look inside because that's what's going to be satisfying. I promise you that the only connection you need with life is yourself. You only need yourself in life. You only need something greater. You have to understand you need something greater than yourself. You have to understand you need a mentor today. You need to learn something. I promise you, if you have no mentor today, you'll never learn and grow. You have to understand you need to have a mentor. I have a mentor who is Jesus today. As I follow Jesus, I am a person who understands theory in terms of habits and applies it every single day. I thank you very much. That each and every single time I'm always doing something that's very important. I'm always doing something that's really going to help me And that way I understand that I need to always abbreviate in a better way. I need to understand that there's always something to do. I understand that each and every single time I'm doing something, I can do it much better. 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 I can always do it much better. I can always realize that there is always more to realize. I understand when I speak with my eye intent, I realize that I can do anything. I can always do anything. I realize that I can always say you're beautiful. I understand that I can say whatever I need to do. And that's the whole point. I realize that's the whole point of planning. I realize it's the whole point of really lifting. You have to lift. You have to make sure you're lifting all the time. You have to be that kind of person who has an attitude of gratitude. You have to understand that it's never just about attitude. I realize it's about retrospect. I understand that retrospect is a feeling. And when you're a feeling person, you understand to be self-aware. I promise you that to be self-aware, you have to be in the moment and in your heart today. You have to understand that those people who are in their hearts today are the ones who, or else they're the ones who are in retrospect. I understand that retrospect is self-evaluation, and those people who understand self-evaluation techniques are the ones who are communicating more and more and more and more and more throughout life. I need to understand more is good. I need to understand that less is bad. I need to have more throughout life. I need to have more and more of everything that's better in life. I need to understand that you never have more negativity in your life, you have more positivity only. I need to understand there's a difference. I need to understand that in life you go 100 and more percent in life. I need to understand you never limit yourself to a number, you just call yourself number one in life. I promise you that's the best number in the world. I promise you I have the one rule which states I must be better than yesterday. I must be better than yesterday each and every single day. I must be in front of people and in the spotlight. I must be in the spotlight every single day to learn and communicate my attitude, which is my gratitude. I understand that my attitude is something greater because I can grow. I can teach people how to grow. I can teach people how to have a greater life. I realize that when you're a person who's going on the street every single day, you do 3 hours, I promise you, in 12 days time, and you do consistently 3 hours every single day, it's 36 hours of video content. I promise you, that's 36 hours of public speaking in front of people, you're going to learn something. I promise you that you have to put yourself into it, you have to put yourself into it, and you have to have internet also. You have to understand that internet is a big part of life. And those people will understand that you put your photos up on the internet, you put your videos up on the internet, you have an online storage base where your videos and your content and your online work can go up in your storage, and you never have to get yourself a USB, and you never have to get yourself an external drive or anything like that. And that way you're putting all of your photos and your videos and your writing materials up online. I promise you it stays there forever, and it's called one chip online where it's you. I understand that I use Mega Drive today, which gives you 80 gigabytes of free knowledge today. I realize that you can go and put all your content up online inside Mega Drive. I understand that's the best one I do, although that is where all my work is found. I realize that is the only way I live life in a better way. I do it in a better way all the time. I'm always doing something that's really correlative to something that's really inspirational. I realize that when I become inspirational, I'm always looking for a greater leader in me. And when I do that, I look to Jesus to understand that I relate everything that what's going on. I realize I relate everything with what's going on in the moment. I understand that I'm always looking inside my feelings, and that way I understand I never judge people for what they're doing, although there's always a better way than what you're doing today. I realize I never do cleaning for the outside world. I make sure no matter what, I learn some content today. I realize that I never have to clean other people's stuff. I clean myself every single day in a better way. I make sure I'm always clean. I'm never a dirty person. I realize I always stay away from the dirtiness. And I realize to make sure that I always look better and better and better. You always have to feel better. You have to understand there's always something better you can do today. You have to understand you have to always lead in a greater way. You always have to understand there's something better you can do today. You have to lift your energy. You have to lift your energy. You have to be always really strong. You have to understand there's always more enthusiasm that you need. You always need more vibrance. You always need more richness. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you those people who understand richness are the ones who have more ideas, and that's the whole point. I promise you it's ideas that make you. I promise you that those people who understand more ideas are the ones who understand more of life. I promise you I only see everything. I only see everything, I know nothing in life. I see it though. I understand I can see the truth. I can never explain the truth. I can see it though. I realize that I can see what something is, I can just never describe it. I realize that's the whole point. I realize the whole point is understanding that you never label anything. You just see what you are in life. You just see what you're doing. I promise you that's what it's all about. I promise you it's about really living life in freedom. I promise you it's about making sure that no matter what, you're always looking better and better. I realize it's about doing something that's really going to be excellent in your heart. I realize that what's excellent in your heart is the way to go. I realize that you understand that you make common sense. And you be a common sense worker today, and you do that 24/7. I need you to understand that common sense theory is the best way. I promise you that those people who understand theory are the ones doing it. I promise you have to do theory. You never just write and write, you have to go and do it. You have to understand, you have to go and take the action to go to wherever you need to go, but you have to invest that action first. You have to understand it's never about taking, you have to understand it's about giving. I promise you the more you can give, I promise you the more you can get. I promise you it's the only way that you can be someone much more. And you have to understand that when you're a person who's special, in terms of life, you understand that you call yourself special every single day. I'm special, I'm special, I'm special. I realize that you always have to be more special in life. You have to understand that you have to have more freedom, because people who have freedom are special, I promise you. You have to understand that the world is special when they call themselves special. You should understand you always have a positive affirmation in your life. You have to be a person who has self-love. You have to understand that there's always a better way in what you can do. You always understand that I'm growing from this also, although just yesterday you understand that it's today. I realized that earlier today I did this as well. I did for 3 hours in terms of my life. I did public speaking, and guess what? I learned a lot. Although yesterday I was more tensed up, and this way I'm much more less tense. Well, I realized why? Because I'm learning and growing. I realize I'm learning and growing, and I feel much more comfortable in front of a crowd, and I can let go, and I can also realize it's much better to do so as well. I realize I can tense up on my emotions as well. I can realize that no matter what, I can push my communication with my emotions, although I feel much more confident in front of a crowd this time. I realize that each and every single time you show up in front of a crowd, you're going to do something greater, you're going to be greater, you're going to lift, you're going to make sure that you have something of brilliance to give. You're going to give your heart and soul each and every single way. You're going to understand that the way is up. You have to look up. You have to understand there's something up there. You understand? You look much greater. You have to understand that to look up is to make sure you're doing something greater, because you never be a sorrowful person. You be a cheerful person. You look up all the time. Make sure you stand tall. Make sure you're always confident. You're doing something that's really going to help you to move forward. You have to be a person who's never aggressive. You have to understand it's really about how are you presenting yourself, and that's the whole point of public speaking. That's why I'm here. I'm here to present myself in a way to understand my body language, and I have to understand, I have to abbreviate what I speak in a term that my body language can also accustom to what I say. That's what speaking is. It's about attitude, and those people who understand, who look into my eyes, I also connect with them. I promise you, no matter what, when I have connection with people, it's a great thing. It's a great aspect of life to have more connection with people. Each and every single time I see a face, I promise you, I can read those people. I can also understand there's always a greater way. I promise you, there's a great way to do something. I promise you, there's a greater way to live, and also a great way to look like. You have to understand that it's the whole point of life, to make sure that no matter what you're doing, that you understand there's always something better you can do. I promise you, there's always something better you can do today. I promise you have to lift yourself. You have to make sure you're always encouraging yourself daily, because you are important today. You have to understand you have to be more important, and more important, and more important, and more important. You have to lift. You have to make sure you're significant in life. You have to understand there's always a better way that you can do life. You have to understand that no matter what, you have to do something much more. You have to understand you have to connect with people when they're looking you in the eyes, and that way you understand you can read people and what they're doing each and every single time, because that's the only way to understand people, and you have to read them. I say hi. I realize no matter what, I'm always a person who understands that you have to understand to say hi with the I say hi, I say hi, I say this. I ask a question. I ask a question, how are you, to make sure that somebody looks at me. Or else I never make sure that I have no eye. I make sure I have my eye always. I have a dream. I love you. I love you. I thank you. I thank you very much. I love you in Jesus' name. I realize although that we all have I intense. I realize I have a dream. I realize you need a dream too. I realize you need a dream too. You have to have a stronger vision of yourself. You have to understand there's always a greater way, that you understand that your life must be a greater way, otherwise you'll be somebody for nothing. You have to understand you be somebody always, although you never do it for nothing. You do it for something greater than you. You have to understand you be something today, and that way you understand it's always going to help you. You have to be that person who understands freedom. I promise you that the freedom of life is speak positivity only. I never need you to deal with people. I need you to eat better. I need you to feel better. I need you to have more energy. I need you to understand to have more energy is to learn more energy. You have to learn who you are every single day. You have to understand you have to do more. You have to be more. You have to learn who you are. You have to learn what your eyes are. You have to learn everything about your eyes and who you are in your skin. And you have to understand your hair. You have to understand the world much more. You have to understand yourself. You have to love yourself each and every single day. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's worth to do something greater. You need to understand there's always something that you can do every single day. I promise you that when I was a small baby, you understand I'm still a baby though, I I'm still a baby. I realized that when I was age 5, I was very different, and I looked at the world very differently. I realized that as I grew up, I realized I'm still a baby, although you understand that you need more awareness. You need more awareness to live life. You have to understand that it's worth to live life when you're lifting. I promise you, although, that many people will lead you astray, and I never look at most people, I look at one person in life. I look at Jesus Christ. I realize that Jesus Christ is never the crowd. I promise you that since I have Jesus Christ, I never look at others and what they're doing. I look at what Jesus is doing today. I promise you that person will lead you always better. I promise you, although I always have a mentor, and since I do, I realize I grow with Jesus Christ, and that way I understand my ego must always be less and less and less and less throughout time. I have to grow and grow and grow and grow over time. I realize that's all about that, and thank you very much. I realize it's about complimenting, and when you compliment, you're a leader because you compliment somebody. You have to understand that's what it's all about. You have to compliment and you have to smile at people. You have to smile and give them ideas, and you have to understand it's about ideas because ideas are freedom. I realize that ideas is freedom. Those people who understand ideas understand life more. You have to be that type of person who understands life. You have to grow in a way there's always something more better to do. I realize there's always something more better to do in your life, and it's this moment. You have to understand this moment is foundational and it's really going to lift you. I realize that when you escape the moment, you're making excuses and you're making blaming. In terms of you're blaming other people when you escape this moment. So never escape the moment and be without drugs in life because you never need drugs. You have to understand that drugs make you escape, and it makes you arrogant, and it makes you egotistical, and be away from those people and we're the toxic kids. I promise you it's never worth it. I promise you what's worth it in life is happiness. And to get happiness, you have to find it inside. You have to understand happiness is an inside job. And you have to understand that those people who have more happiness in life are the ones who have more information. You have to understand to find more happiness, you need more information today than ever before. And you should understand you need to update your mind about what's happening inside. You have to understand it's about self-love today. And you should understand that the one rule in the Bible is love yourself. And love, I realize it's never lie, I realize it's love thyself. You have to love yourself daily, because if you don't, I realize that you're going to be a person who's losing. So make sure you're winning today. I need you to win every single day. And you should understand there's always something greater in you. You have to understand you're a person lifting. You have to lift all the time. You have to understand that you have to be a person of high caliber and high interest. You have to understand that no matter what, you'll be a person always enticing people in a greater way. Obviously, there's always something more fashionable than what you're doing. And it's about connecting with other people much greater and making sure that your social media looks the best it can be. And you should understand you look the best you can be every single day. And you should put some effort in. I realize you need to put some effort into yourself every single day, more and more. Because that's what it's about. And you should understand it's about more freedom. You see the echo? I see, I have a nice beautiful video, and I can always hear it in the video. I can hear myself in the video. I do it for the video. I talk for 3 hours to boost my confidence while I do it on video, and then you can catch it on my Instagram. I thank you very much. I thank you. Although this lady says that most people can never hear me, although you can find my Instagram over here. I have 3 hours of content every single day. I realize that no matter what, that you guys can hear me online, and that's what's important. I realize that is the whole ideal. I realize the whole ideal of me being here today is to make sure I do some public speaking for 3 hours every single day in front of people to boost my confidence while I do a video today. You can find me on Instagram. You understand that no matter what, you have to be a funny person, although you understand that either way, you have to be funnier and funnier throughout time through growth only. You have to be that person. You have to be that type of person who's growing. You have to understand that growth is foundational. You have to always have a more beautiful smile, and you have to look better, and you have to feel better. You have to understand, you have to always make sure that you're doing much greater. You have to understand that when you're encouraging people, you're making sure that you are never accepting them, you're just growing them. You have to understand, it's about, I never accept you for the way you are, I need you to grow from this. I need you to understand, you have to look better, you have to feel better, you have to always make sure you're better. I need you better. I need you always to do something much greater. I need you to understand, I never accept the person I am today, I have to grow from this. I have to grow from the person I am. I have to will myself. I have to will myself, as John C. Maxwell says. I promise you, John C. Maxwell says, you need to intentionally grow. You need to be a person who's intentionally growing all the time. I realize each and every single time I grow, I'm doing something very foundational to make sure I'm writing, I'm doing video work, and also doing anything to do with music. I thank you very much. I realize that each and every single time you look worried, I realize although you have to always make sure no matter what, you'll never be worried. You understand? You never be worried, you'll be a person who's never worried, and that way you'll be happier. You remove money barriers where you are worried. Although you have to understand it's really about your health. Realize that the more money you have in life, you have to understand is the more wisdom you have. It's about wisdom today. Those people who understand wisdom are going to understand a better sales point. The sales point is freedom. I do this for free. I'm a charity worker. I do something that's really foundational. I do something that's really going to help me move forward. I realize that life is to be lived in the moment, and what a better way to be in the moment than to be in front of people doing it. I realize that the best way is doing it in the moment with people, and that way you're going to lead people, and you're going to be in attention with people. I promise you, that's the best way to be in the moment. You have to be in the moment, you have to be in the moment, as Van Burns' beautiful track says, be in the moment. You have to understand, you have to always lift, you have to look better, you have to feel better. You have to understand that it's about motivation today. You have to understand it's about looking greater. You have to look greater. You have to do something that's worth it today. You have to be worth it. You have to understand that you call yourself worth it much more than yesterday. You have to understand it's about much more in life. I need you to have much more. I need you to look at the crowd. I need you to understand you have to lift the crowd all the time. You have to understand it's about public speaking. I need you to understand it's about audio work. I need you to understand there's always something much better. Realize that I have to stop. I have to stop. I see what you mean. I thank you very much. I thank you very much. I understand that I never shut up, although you understand that when you get shushed up, you just speak up again. You have to understand that you be a person who never shuts up when somebody tells you to shut up. You have to understand that you never shut up throughout life because it's about really growing. I should understand that when this woman over here told me to shush up, I need to understand that you can, although you have to understand that the baby's sleeping, although you have to understand I'm never ashamed to speak my voice. I understand I never shush up because no matter what, that's a beautiful critic over there. I learned something beautiful. I learned that when people are saying to shut up while a baby's sleeping, I understand I'm more important than a baby. I'm more important than a baby in life. I need to understand I'm more important than that. I just boost my confidence today. I realize that I have a woman today say shh. I realize that when I have to shut up, I realize that I lift my voice even more. I realize that I realize something. I realize I have to grow now because guess what? I boost my confidence and I'm better than a baby in life, and I never ever shut up in my life. I never shut up for a baby who's sleeping. I never shut up in life. I make sure I speak up and make sure I communicate more because I'm more important than her baby in life. I realize that is our point in life. I realize that you never ever tell shut up. You never ever tell people to shut up. And you understand, you never tell people to shut up or do anything because that way you understand growth, you understand connection, and you understand what freedom is. You have to grow from what you're doing. Although I understand that when you're silenced by people, you understand you never be silenced by people. I need to understand that when people are trying to silence you, I promise you I realize that what is happening is they're saying that you are not good enough to speak up. I realize that you be a person who's always speaking up because you're good enough. And you're more than good enough when you're speaking up only. You have to speak up and never shut up because there's a baby sleeping. I only care about the baby. I care about something greater. I realize that what's great in life, I care about what's great in life, and that's the way, And you should understand. You have to be a person who is lifting all the time. And you should lift and be a person who's never entertaining, although be a person who understands that you need a greater way. There's a greater way to do life. I realize that it's never about entertainment, I realize it's about something greater. I realize it's something greater that's going to help you. You have to understand that no matter what, I died when I was silenced. I was dying when I was silenced, although I'm never silenced anymore because I never care about a baby who's sleeping. I realize that what's important is my voice. I realize that my voice is important, so I have to speak up more and more in order to do my work today, which is greater than the baby. And I understand that I'm doing greater work today. I realize that no matter what, I'm always a greater person. I understand that no matter what, I'm always a person who's doing something much more and more and more. I understand that each and every single time I'm doing something, I'm worth it, I deserve it. I'm deserving my own worth much more and more than yesterday. And that's the whole point, guys. So when somebody's silencing you in life and saying, shh, I realize that since their baby is sleeping, I realize that she's really saying, or he's really saying that you have to be below the baby. I realize that I never be below the baby. You have to understand that you never ever walk my way when it's very loud over here when I'm growing. I realize that you walk my way anyway. I realize that I'm always confident in my voice, I'm always confident in who I am. And you have to understand that the biggest critic is going to try to silence you. You never ever get silenced. I promise you, although I'll learn from it. And that way, you're going to be a person lifting. You're going to look better. You're going to look people in the eyes. You're going to smile. You're going to be a nice, beautiful person today in a better way. You have to understand, you have to always lift, you have to be quick, you have to be quick, you have to be quick, you have to be quick. You have to understand that quickness is speed. And those people who understand speed, understand agility. I promise you, agility is quickness and speed is talent. You have to understand that. Those people who understand talent are the ones who are growing. You have to grow every single day. You never be sloppy. You be a person who's never mumbling, and that way you understand that you're going to be free. You have to understand you be somebody who's never in the wrong or right. I need you to understand there's no wrong or right in life. I promise you, there's only growth. I promise you, those who can grow understand there is no judgment in life. I promise you, there's no judgment because those people who judge are condemned towards their judgments. I need you to understand when you judge a person, you've really judged yourself. I need you to understand you never judge because that's what the ego does. I need you to understand that those people who never judge are the ones who are reading more. I need you to read more and more and more throughout time to have a smaller ego, as Albert Einstein says. I need you to understand that's what you need to do every single day. You need to read more and more every single day to have a smaller ego. I need you to understand that to increase your ego is to do drugs. And to increase your ego is to look like Hitler. I never need you to be Hitler. I need you to understand have a small ego. You have a small ego. You never have a big ego like Hitler did. You have to understand that it's never about killing people. You have to understand it's about reading more and more throughout time to do something more in history to make a name for yourself. You make your name, you make yourself never silenced, and that way you understand you have to do your work and you have to persist throughout everything in life that's thrown at you. I promise you, life is going to throw you curveballs. You have to pick them up and you have to throw it back in a way that's much greater. You have to make sure you're always greater and greater. I realize that I'm never deadlifting people. I'm looking people in the eye, making sure I'm connecting with them, making sure I'm smiling, and making sure that each and every single time I'm doing something of leadership. I realize that no matter what, I understand Toastmasters. I realize that Toastmasters, I realize the echo. I realize the echo. I love the echo because I can hear myself on the microphone and I can also record myself because I can hear inside the video once I read it after this. I realize it's very surround system. I realize although you can go inside my video online and you can read, it's going to be really echoing, you can hear me. I understand I promote myself for 3 hours here and I do some public speaking in front of a crowd because it's a nice beautiful attention to promote myself and I build my confidence this way and I make sure to always feel greater all the time. I'm always feeling great, I'm always doing much better, I'm always doing something that's really going to improve me. I make sure that I have a better crossword, I'm writing better, I'm doing something that's important. I have to. I thank you very much. I thank you. I realize that the people who are coming up to me are saying that they cannot hear me, although make sure that you can hear me because guess what? When you cannot hear me, that is nobody's fault. You have to understand it's nobody's fault that you cannot hear me, although that my Instagram is here today where you can hear me. I realize it's really about understanding that you go online to hear me. I have to understand that no matter what, I'm always here crediting something greater. I realize that something greater is you. You have to understand, you always have to be something greater. You have to understand, I'm always doing something for something greater. I'm always making sure that no matter what, I never die. Although when you call other people greater, you'll understand you're also greater. You understand that you have to lift yourself, you have to push yourself to communicate. You have to understand that I'm also greater than this day. I'm making sure no matter what, I never limit myself. You have to understand, you have to call people greater. You are greater today. You are greater today. You have to understand to lift people. You have to be lifting and uplifting all the time. You have to understand that uplifting is a trance. You should understand the trance of uplifting, which is positivity. You need more positivity in life. You have to understand confidence. You need to be growth confidence. You have to be growth and confidence together, which is the same in terms of multiplications, which is one. The multiplication of life is one. The one theory is take action today to do your life much better in investing action today. I need you to understand you invest it all the time in a way that you're going to grow today. I promise you that's the one rule. I promise you the one rule is grow. I used to grow, I used to grow, I used to grow today. I need you to understand to grow, you need more information. You need more information? I promise you that's the way. I promise you the way is happiness. And the way of happiness is more information today to make yourself happier. I promise you that way. I understand that since I can public speak today, is because I have the information to do so. I understand that I processed a lot of information to be here today and speak and speak and speak and speak my heart out because I have the information. I do my information all the time. Thank you very much. I understand that each and every time you lift, you have to always make sure that you're never cocky because cocky people are arrogant. I never need you around them. I need you around people who have a smaller ego. I need you to understand a smaller ego never means a smaller mind. I realize that a smaller ego means more smartness. You have to understand that you have a mind, you're just never your mind. You're something greater than the mind. You have to overcome your mind. You have to understand that your other mind is your heart. You have to win your heart over the mind. You have to understand you have to overcome your aspects of life. You have to overcome your adversity. You have to overcome this situation. You have to understand to overcome this situation today, you have to plan. 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 That's the easiest way. You have to plan all the time in your life. You have to plan it on paper. You have to plan. You have to plan, and you have to write. You have to write your life. You have to write it because you have to plan ahead. You have to understand that planners are winners. And those people who plan are the ones writing their life. I mean, you're always writing something. I mean, you're writing that you're walking today. You have to write. You have to listen to everything that you're doing. You have to understand that each and every step of the way is you writing and producing something. So make sure you're producing something greater to make yourself greater because it's worth it. It's worth to understand that you need to boost your confidence all the time. You need to be that person who understands the theory of this moment. You have to understand the theory of this moment's interest states that you must take more action today, to invest more action today, to understand a greater you. That's called personal development. Those people who understand personal development look better and feel better and also understand what they're eating all the time. You need to understand what's in everything that you're eating and drinking all the time. You have to understand more knowledge. You have to ask, what's that? I mean, what's that? You have to ask those questions. You have to ask, who are you? And where are you from? And what is your value today? And what ideas can you give me today? I realize what value do you have today? I realize that it's not about the money. I realize it's about something greater. I realize it's about freedom. I realize it's about making sure you're always growing. I realize you need to grow and reach or better. I realize that each and every single time I'm doing something, I'm never making money, I'm making wisdom. I'm making more wisdom because it's never how much money you have, I realize how much courses have you done. Oh, I need to see the courses. I realize, are you better than yesterday? I need to ask you. I don't know, because guess what? I make sure I'm always greater. Because when I give you 500 million courses, I promise you, you'll come up to me and you'll learn from me something in life. I promise you, I've always got something to give. I'm always that type of something that you need in life. I promise you, it's something for nothing in life. I promise you, it's something of information I give you to grow you. I promise you, that's the whole way of freedom. I promise you, those people who understand freedom, I promise you, they understand life. You need to be that type of person. I realize that no matter what my video here is done, I realize no matter what, I still got another content to give. I realize although you guys can share me around, I'll see you guys in the next video, although I'm very strong this day, because guess what? Each and every single day, I improve my confidence, and that's the whole point of doing these videos. And I understand no matter what, I have a nice beautiful more control over here, because I'm always more confident, I'm always stronger, I'm always doing better, I'm always lifting myself, I respect everybody, and that's the whole point of life. You have to understand the whole point of life is do greater than who you are. You have to always drink better, you have to look better, you have to feel better, you have to always make sure that no matter what, you have more wisdom to give. I promise you it's about more wisdom, and those people who accumulate more wisdom throughout time are the ones who are happier. I promise you that's what it's all about. I need you to understand it's about traveling the world, although it's about traveling your country first, and then you understand to learn the skills first in your own country, and then you understand to go and travel the world. I promise you that's what is everything in life. I promise you what is everything in life is this moment, and you only have this moment to live life much greater. I promise you that's the only way to be. I promise you, although that you guys can find me on Instagram, I promise you I have over 300 videos of courses, I have over 25,000 quotes, I realize I have over 2 years of journaling. I have so much to give, I have over the next 73 years to do so, I realize no matter what, I have so much time, because it's never about the money you work for, it's about the wisdom. I'll see you guys in the next video.